Hi everybody, June here from Red Daisy Crafts. I'm doing a video today because I am not able to be live, but I didn't want to miss sharing my last few alternate projects. So I'm here. So again, June Linedecker with Red Daisy Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of San Antonio, Texas. So thanks for joining me today. We're going to start with a fun little card that I put together using some of the last bits of my kit and some of the die cuts from the Beautiful Blooms die set that is the quarterly die set. So we're gonna get out our pieces here and we're going to see how this goes. Okay, so we are using from the kit, we're going to use this card base, which is the, looks like I got something on here, which is the very pale Lemon Lolly card base from the kit. And all I have done is scored at 2 1/8 and folded that back. So basically the outside of the card becomes the inside of the card and it's white on the outside. We are going to use it this way and we're going to make an easel card with this, okay? And then I have brought in a little bit of my own cardstock here, which is the, I believe this is the Peach Pie. I have this piece from the card kit, which is the layer. We're going to use that right in there. I have this strip from cutting last week when we were making a card, so I have that piece. We are using this piece from the card kit as well. And then I don't know if you recognize this, but it's from several years ago. It's a really heavy duty, like glittery paper. And I had I had a little piece, basically it was enough to do this with it. And I cut a little piece of the postage die that came in the Beautiful Blooms and the beautiful word. So we have that. We're going to use those. And then I have cut some of the tulips from the kit. Now, this is pumpkin pie, so I have a pumpkin pie one. And then this is from Shy Shamrock. This one is just a pretty in pink. And then these items I use from scraps from the DSP paper that came as a coordinating product. And I thought it was kind of fun to bring those in because you can layer these up and just get a little bit of a different look and feel with them. And so I thought that was kind of fun. So we are going to use those. Now, I think I'm going to use all of those, but we're going to see how it works out as we put our card together. So we are going to need to have the word Easter from our stamps. So we're going to use the word Easter off of here, and then I'm going to get a little strip of white, which I have right here, that we're going to use to stamp that. Grab my foam mat. So we are going to get our Shy Shamrock here. Is that the color I want, or did I decide? I think I was going to use my Peach Pie for this. So I have my Peach Pie stamp pad right here. And we're going to get ink on here. And then we're going to mask off the happy, and I am just going to use a bit of washi tape since it's right here and handy to do that. We're just going to put that right over the happy right here. Okay, and then we're going to stamp the Easter on here about right there. Hopefully my head is not getting too far into this. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna just take that off of there, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean this while I have it here, and put that back, and then we'll put our stamp pad away, and so we will use that on here. All right, so let's go ahead and start to put our card together. All right, so like I said, this is going to go, no, this is going out here. What in the world was I thinking when I said that? Okay, we are going to start by putting this down on the inside of here. And to do that, we're going to add this little strip right here onto it. Now, I need to open up my cute little egg. Don't you love this from the Country Hive? They have so many cute things. If you have any questions about how to get that, just feel free to ask me in the comments, and I can hook you up. But they make the cutest glue holders, and it's always fun to have a nice little fun festive glue holder on your desk, right? All right, so this is going to go on here just like that, and then this is gonna, when we add it, it's gonna get put on with dimensionals. So let me grab some of my dimensionals. I think I have some bigger. Here, I have these strips. I've been trying to use up my dimensionals because I have quite a little collection in my stash that I open up a kit, I start using it, and then I should be using up what I already have open. I don't know how you do that, but I have not been good about it. So that's going to go on here, and that's what's going to like hold the easel open. And so now we're going to, so it's going to say beautiful Easter, and then inside here, we're going to put hello friend. We're just going to add that right up here, just so you have a little bit of more fun on the inside of the card when you open it up. And again, I am going to use my peach pie for that, and we're just going to add it right up here like so. Okay, and then we're going to add, just for fun, we're going to add some of this grass. Is that right? We are. We're going to add some of the grass. And where's my shy? Oh, here it is. Here's my shy shamrock. We're just going to add a little bit of grass right up here like that. And then we're going to add a couple of these cute eggs. Just sitting in the grass. And we'll add this one here. Like that. So just a fun little inside. Oh, look at that. I got ink on my finger. I need to get that cleaned off. Get my stamp cleaner out, because that's a good way to get it off of your finger quickly. It's not just good for stamp cleaning, right? It's good for fingers cleaning too. All right, so let me move that out of the way. And I have a couple of markers that I was going to use to do just a tiny bit of coloring. So I have these three right here. So I thought it'd be fun to just add a tiny bit of coloring here to our egg, like that. Just to have some fun. And brighten it up a bit. This little balmy blue ink marker is kind of losing its juice, I think. Let's bring back the yellow. And go ahead and color in the flower with the pink. Cute. So that's what you end up with there, and that cute. And that's all on the inside, but you still have room to write a message down here at the bottom. So just get those out of the way, and then let's go ahead and put our card front together that we're going to be adding on to here. So this is going to go on here, and it's just going to be adhered on this side of the card. So we're going to go ahead and just adhere that down. Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of guessing there, but I'm pretty sure I'm not getting into the other side. And we're just lining that up so that it's got an even border all the way around. Okay, like I said, that's how it's going to pop up here. Okay, so then we're going to add our flower wreath onto here. We're going to put on some dimensionals to the back of here. And I think that's the bottom, so I'm going to leave that open. I want to be able to stick some things in underneath there, and so yeah, it's going to go like that. So I want a lot open down here, so I am going to just put one right there. All right, so just make sure those are all stuck on. Get the dimensional covers off of the Sometimes these little guys are really stuck on there. I think I got them all now. All right, so this is going to go on here just like that. Oh, I think I didn't get it over enough. There we All right, so that's that. All right. Now this little piece here, I was going to add to the bottom of here just to give it a little bit of extra shine. So I am going to go ahead and put some glue on here, and let's just see. Oh, I maybe can still stick this on here in the place I want it. Let's just get it even. Yes. All right. Oh, I knew glue was going to squirt out. We'll get that cleaned up. We're going to let that dry and we'll get that cleaned up. I have my little glue eraser that I think will still work on that. Yeah, hopefully I didn't mess that up. Hopefully that's still good. All right, so I don't need this piece. I had thought about putting it in, like right in here. I don't know, maybe I still will if I could tuck it. No, we're not going to do that. We don't need it really, because we have these pieces we're going to tuck in underneath here. So we are going to be sticking in one of these little guys here. So I'm just going to do that with some of this glue here. And I'm going to grab one little dimensional and put it on the leaf to help it hold itself up. So we are going to just stick that one right there. And got a little dimension going on there. I got glue on my finger still. I got glue everywhere. Oh my goodness. I gotta get this off of here. I think I got it now. All right, so then we're going to use the regular, just the basic card base, because this was that foil DSP from the coordinating, Easter Joy kit. So again, I'm going to just pop up one side of this, and then I'm going to put a little glue on here, which I'm getting way more glue out than I need. And we're going to stick him in right here. Okay. More glue. More glue on the fingers. We are just in a gluey state today. All right, then I have one more of these that I was going to add right up here, kind of higher up, was kind of my plan. And on here, I just think I need a little bit of glue. We're gonna try and do better. Not get as much out here, that's much better. All right, so we're gonna stick that in right there. And I feel a dimensional right here, so I'm not gonna add it. It looks like it's gonna be fine. All right, and then I think this one's gonna go up here. Or you know what? I think I'm gonna put the blue up here. So we're gonna have the blue flower up here. And so let me see here. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of glue on here. And we're gonna glue that right to that outside wreath. that foil paper is a little bit, takes a little bit more holding to get it to glue down. There we go. I think we got it now. So that's where that one's gonna go. Now this little guy it's gonna get popped up. Now I think one of these will fit. Yes, so we're gonna add this one right on top of here, like that. Isn't that precious? I just love it. All right, so now we are going to have our pink one. It's going to go up here. Now I am going to put that on with the dimensional because, and I'm going to go ahead and add the dimensional to that one because we are, but I think I want this in a different place. I'm going to put it right on this side here, hoping that I will not create like too many dimensionals on top of each other. So I'm actually gonna take this dimensional off of here and place it right on there like that, and then stick our little added piece right there. Okay, because that way I don't have double dimensionals. That's what I was trying to get to. All right, this is looking so cute. All right, now this one's going to get added right here in the center. And I am going to put this one down with some glue. Trying again not to get too much. And this one's going to go right down there. And I am tucking it a little bit under that leaf. And this is just the pumpkin pie cardstock, okay? I still have this leaf popped up, so there's some dimension going on. And then we're going to add our little dimensional to this little guy. And we are going to pop him up right here like that. Look at that, so cute, right? All right, so we're gonna use this beautiful up here, okay? And maybe this is where I will use this. Okay, so we're going to have this Easter piece, and I'm just gonna trim this off like that. And we're going to add it to here, and then we'll trim off that peach. So we're just gonna add that right there like that, and then we're just gonna trim that off. Okay, so that's gonna go at the bottom, and we're gonna just say beautiful Easter. Beautiful Easter. I want this in the right spot, so I think it needs to be over more. There we go. Beautiful Easter, like that. Okay, so it needs to be on this side, and I think because we already have dimensionals underneath there, we're just going to keep it flat onto the wreath. And I'm trying to make it straight to the bottom so that it's straight across, not tilted in one way or another, because we're going to add our beautiful above that, and it's going to be a little bit tilted. Now what I am going to do here is get my precision glue tip, because the only place I want to put glue is on the bottom of the E and the T and the F, okay? Because that's all that's going to get glued down. This is going to be a little bit floating, okay? So I've got my precision glue tip here, and we're going to do the bottom of the E. Oh, I got way more coming out of here. We are all about too much glue today. And now we're got it at the bottom of the F. All right, let me just set that aside while we get this tacked down on here like so. There we go. Beautiful Easter. That is precious. Very, very cute. All right, let me just get that cleaned off good before I stick that back in there. All right, so I do want to, I think, do a little bit of Winkostella, if I can, like a little bit of a splattering. Knew this was happening when I was playing with it yesterday. So what I do is I get it nice and juicy, and then we're just gonna flick some onto there like that, and that looks so great. I love it. Just a little bit of extra shine. Okay, so I'm just gonna push that open so that it is over there. I think this is good and dry. Let me see if this glue eraser will take off. Oh, it sure will. Oh, I love it. Love that eraser. Much better. Much better. I think I had a little bit down here too. Nice. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now this is just going to get placed right on here like that. Okay, and that glittery bottom is just an added bonus for the bottom of here. All right, so we're just making sure we have that centered on each side. Okay, and there's our easel card, and it will just stand up like that when we give it out. So when they open it up, they can just stand it up. And what a pretty little Easter display for them if they want to do that. You can put your note on the inside. You even have a little bit of space up here if you wanted, but you have plenty of room here, and you can always flip it over. But I love, 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 love this. So cute. And I even love that the little glitter is a little bit popping out at the bottom of there. Perfect. What a cute card. I hope you like that little card. That is our first project. I just have one more, and it's kind of a longer project. So I am going to go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to show you what it is. And then we'll dig in. I've done a lot of the pre-work. So my sweet friend, Michelle, she uses eyelashes. She puts on her eyelashes. And this is the box that they come in. And it is the coolest box because it has a little magnet stop. And she asked me, would I want to use it? And so I said yes, because look what I created with it. Isn't this darling? And look at that, full of chocolates. It's going to make an awesome little Easter gift. And we have decorated it very nicely. And I'm I actually tried to put ink on here, but no matter what I did, it just kept rubbing off. It just never really wanted to dry fully. And I guess I could have sprayed something on it to get it to dry better. But I just decided it's a pink and the pink matches. And so just go with it, right? So that's what I ended up doing. And I used several items from the suite that coordinates with it. And so the hope here is that you will be inspired to look around at things that you've received, like little containers and things, and see what it is that you might have around that would be something you could create a gift box out of. So let's go ahead and dig into this. If you happen to use this particular faux eyelash and have this box, this will be really awesome for you. So let's go ahead and dig into this. So I did do some measuring, and I have it here. I don't think you can see it fully just because of me using the phone to do this recording. But this piece is, the height of it is, what I ended up doing was 8 1/8, okay? On the outside, I have 4 1/4, okay? On the inside, I have 4 1/8 is what I ended up doing for here as a width, okay? And then on the inside of this space, I ended up with 3 7/8 width and 7 5/8 depth, okay? This is still 8 1/8. Now, the dimensions of the depth, okay, this I used 3/4 of an inch, but inside I used where is my note, 5/8 here and 3/8 on the inside and 3/8 on the outside of here. I think that just worked out fine, but those are the dimensions that I'm using whenever I cut all the paper. I have everything cut here, so we are going to do that here, and I have my pieces that go on, like this is my inside piece here. These go on the inside of there. Then I have, this is for the outside of the box, and I believe they are too thick. I'm gonna have to trim off a tad, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I had trimmed them to 3/4 like the outside, and they need to be 5/8. Inside here, I am putting that on this part of it. So only the stripe is the inside and the outside edge. So as you can see, the outside is that stripe. And then the only other stripe is on the inside of here and around this edge here. Everything else is that fleur-de-lis. Okay. And I do have a piece cut for here, and we'll cut out a window. And then this goes on the outside. This will go on the outside of here. This goes on this part where we'll cut a window. And this is what I decided to use on the back, was that shimmer in the pretty in pink. So that is those are all the pieces that we have to put together our box. So we're going to go ahead and get started putting some of this down. I love that this little ribbon here, so I am keeping it. And I want to just add this right in the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this down like so. And I'm going to do that like that. Just got that piece. And then we're going to add this little guy. I'm getting better at knowing how to, I don't know, that bottle just seemed awful sensitive. So I've just added that on the inside of here. And then put this one at the bottom. That glue is not the typical one that I get from Stampin' Up. I still had some that I had bought off of Amazon, and like, you know, you got to use it up, right? You got to use up what you have. So it's a bigger bottle, and I think that's why I'm having difficulty deciding what the pressure is to, you know, squeeze the bottle and whatnot. So we're just adding that now on the inside of there. And then we're going to add this little piece on the inside on this side. So that's the inside. Now, like I said, I do need to trim these. So we're going to go ahead and do the trimming we need to do. So I have to take off about 1/8 of an inch off of these. So we're just going to do that pretty quick here. Like that. Get rid of that piece. And then we'll do this one. That. And then we'll do this one. And then this one. I cut these to be the size that I needed for here, but that doesn't work for that inside piece. Now I am going to go ahead while I have the trimmer out and work on the windows. And so I'm going to start with the inside piece. And what I know is I need to have my window to start 1 5/8 inch down from the top. So that's 1 5/8 inch, and then it's going to be 3/8 of an inch here. I think that's 3/8. I think we're right there. Then I'm going to push that down, and I'm going to be going over here to 3 7/8. No, 3 3/4. That's what it is. I knew that one right. So we're going to go to there. Okay. And then we're going to move it down, and we're going to go to 3 7. This was the 3 7/8. So now I should be at the 3 1/4 already. And I'm going to take that back over here to 3/8. Okay. Now I should be able to connect these guys. So if I do 3/8 here and right on that line to go to this line, it should be pretty close. Yeah, pretty good. Now I'm going to do 3/8 on this side and line that up again and go to this line here. And I can't believe I did that so well. We have this little piece left over. Now this is how I test it. And bring this in is I am just, wow, that's really good. I did really, really good. Now I do see that I may need to take off just a teeny tiny bit on the sides here, but I'm going to cut the top first and then we'll adjust as we need because I want them to be as even as possible. So what I want to do is just double check what I need here. So this is going to be just shy of 3/8. That's what I ran into earlier. So I am still going to come in 1 5/8 like I did originally, but I am going to go down just a shy of 3/8 here, and then I'm going to come over to 3 3/4 and go just a teeny bit more to there. All right, now I'm going to move it up to the 3 3/4 right here. No, 3 7/8. 3 7/8. So this should be where I need it already. And then we're going to go right a little bit past the 3/8 here. Now, if I'm doing this right, that's about where I want it. Oops, I didn't mean to slam that down. All right, so we're about there on the line and going to about there. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Now I'm going to flip this around and we're going to be just a teeny bit shy of the 3/8 again. Line this up and go to there. All right, so I know we were going to be a little bit off on this one. So let me get my snips here and we will get that taken care of. Oh, this one was very, very close. But just teeny bit snipping. All right, so that's what we have. Now let's see how this fits, because we have this right here. Now I can see a little bit of the pink of the box, but I'm okay with that. What I want to do now is trim a little bit off of this edge. So I am going to just come in a tiny bit here. That's not enough. Let's see if I think that will do it. We'll see. I may have to do a little more. But we'll start with that. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Right Yeah, that was perfect. All right, so let's see how we have this. So if that's the outside or inside, and this is the outside, I am still seeing a little bit on that side. So I need to trim just a tiny bit more off of this side. So let's just see here how close we can get. Because what I'm trying to do is just not see the paper with the window when the door's closed, right? That's what we want to do. All right, so let's see here. I think we got it. I think that's gonna work great. All right, so that's how you kind of like work to do your window. And so, I mean, just to kind of give you a little bit more insight. So literally how I did this was I looked at this and I went, okay, this is 1 5/8. But what I didn't allow for was a little bit of wiggle room. And that's why, you know, you had to make some adjustments. And then this piece here was just about 3 7/8. Okay, and so that's why I figured that would work. And then I knew I had 3/8 on each side of here, which of course means you have to have a little bit smaller space. So this worked out really well. All right, so we're gonna put these pieces in and then we'll get to decorating the front of our box. So let's go ahead and we'll adhere the back here. Nice. Nice, good fit. On here. Why do I keep getting my hands in glue? Got a little extra here. Where did my... If you don't have one of these glue erasers, they are really helpful, you know, to have when you get the glue on your paper. Oh my gosh, I see it here too. Okay, I think we got it now. All right, so let's go ahead and finish our inside. So this is the inside one. And we have this going on the inside as well. The nice thing about this box is I think once you eat the candy out of it, you could use it to hold some things. I think I was loving that I can actually fit some markers in here, if you know, and the magnet keeps it closed nicely, you know. So that's always wonderful. Now let's go ahead and put these edges on here, and I remember now that I have to trim just a tad off. Is that enough or no? I made them for the wrong space is what I did originally. Okay. So have y'all been watching any good TV lately or movies? I would love to hear if you've seen anything great lately. Let's see if I can judge here. We're going to go to this point. We started to check out, I don't know if any of you used to watch Scrubs. You know, oh my gosh, I think I'm not very good at guessing when shows were out originally, but I remember when my husband and I were dating, that he was watching Scrubs, and I feel like even then it was reruns, which would have been around 2009. So, but they've come back with basically almost a ton of the same characters. We watched several episodes of it last night to check it out. It was pretty good. Basically, if you ask me, same show as from before, which I think is kind of funny. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. So if you're looking for something kind of fun, funny, and more lighthearted, it's pretty good. So get that on there. Boy, we are sticky fingers today. If you are experiencing something similar, you can joke about that with me for sure, because that is, I know, it's so annoying, to be honest, right? Like this glue. So I love it. Believe me, I love my multi-purpose liquid glue. It is my favorite, but it is also very, very sticky, which is why I love it. But if you get too much, it squirts out in places you don't want it. So that's the situation we have happening today. All right. So before I begin pressing, because the other thing that I love about mono glue is that you can kind of move it around a bit. Now I do see a little tiny bit squirting out right here. I'm going to see if I can contain that issue since it's trying to do it on the window. There we go. That's good. I love this paper. I didn't know if I would like it at first because it was a little bit thicker, and I didn't realize that they were referring to it as foil. I didn't happen to notice that, but it is really fun paper, and it's just bright and cheerful. I even like the monotone on the back that they gave us. I mean, I've used a bit of it as well, and so really, really cute paper. And I've tried to be a little like I mean, of course, this one has Happy Easter on it. Like, you know, it's definitely Easter, but you know, you could easily like tone it down if you wanted to use this paper for more of a all spring kind of situation. So all right. So here we go. So that's the box. We got the box put together. And how cute is that? Okay. All right. So now let me find my little bag of goodies that I have to work on playing with the outside of the box, because I have some fun things already cut to play with for us to decide what do we want. And I'm going to tell you, like, that's what I have left of the kit. That's what I have left. I have this card base, so who knows, I may end up doing something else with that, but I don't really have much left. I think I also have these 2 eggs, which I've already stamped, and the rest of this is all things that I die cut from. Oh, I have this tag too, and that's it. Everything else is coming from the coordinating papers. Okay, so we have here some things. So I don't know if you've seen this basket, but it is really cute. And you can do a lot of different things with it. And so you can see here, I weaved the papers through it, and I used that pink shimmer paper. But I have some of I also cut the strips from the envelope piece, thinking that would be kind of cute on here. And so I thought we would do that on this one. Now, it's really flimsy paper, the paper from the envelope, so I'm actually going to adhere it to the shimmer paper that I had cut to give it a little bit more stiffness, because it is not easy going through those little weaved pieces. And so I figure I need to have a little bit more durability to do that. So I'm just doing, we're only going to put 2 in. I'm not going to do 3 like I did on this other one. I will say that adding the 3rd one was really a little persnickety. So we're just going to add 2 on to the basket, but I thought it would be fun to use the paper from the envelope. So just let me get that lined up there. And now we have a little bit of stiffness. Now the other thing that I've seen people doing is adding a bit of shading to the basket. So let me find one of my little brushes here, because I don't think I have any that I've used for the basic beige. So we're gonna use a new brush. And so I'm gonna just come in and give this a little bit of shading around the basket, just to give it a little bit more dimension. Now, I maybe would have liked to have used crumb cake, but what we have is basic beige, so I'm going with it. And then I'm going to do a little bit around the handle and some spots just to give it a little bit more dimension. So that's nice. Oh, I'm going to do some at the top over here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to move that out of the way, close up this. Oh, I don't need all these things out. All right, so let's see. So we're going to have our little basket, and here's one, and here, is this the other one? Yeah. So we're going to weave these through. And so on the first one, I'm coming from the edge. Okay. And just weave that in and out of the basket like that. And I'm going to scoot it up for the time being so that I can work with the other one. Okay. And so we're going to now we're going to come in from behind. This is where by the time you start sticking the third one in, it's pretty tough to maneuver the spaces in between the weaving, you know. But can you see how if we were just working with that envelope paper, like it would be tough to push it through. Like you need a little bit of stiffer material to work with. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to kind of scoot this one down on towards the other one so that they're kind of in the middle of it. So I'm going to pull this one over just a tiny bit. Okay. And so that's what you end up with. And then what I did was I folded these over onto the back like so. Like that. And I used dimensional to hold them down because we're going to I added that with dimensionals onto here. Now, some people have cut this off. I'm not sure I would want to do that here. I have used this, you know, how I have like a little extra little cut right here. I have used that to like cover things up if I wanted, right? So I do kind of like having the little basket handle. Well, let me get a drink. So I'm going to keep it. So what I did was I was using these strips, and I just cut a little piece off here, and I just took it right to the edge of there to grab a hold of that one, and I just stuck it down like that, and then I did the same thing on this side. I just got it right on that edge and then pulled it down. Now, we're just going to cut a little bit of piece here to hold that one down. And then I'm going to do a piece at the bottom, like so. And I'm not going to fill this up because I'm going to stick things in our basket, okay? And then we'll add some things. So I did color some eggs. I thought that would be fun. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use that on here because I'm actually thinking about putting these tulips in the basket. I think that would be so cute. Just adding some tulips in here. So let's see what we have because I have some of that foil paper as well. And I have some fun foiled tulips. So I also have a little lemon lolly, so I'm going to move that out of the way. I have a little leaf to add. So we have this. I have a lighter. I used some of the card base that was left over. I had little pieces of the card base there. So I have a pink in that foil. I have a pretty in pink. We have more foil leaves. This one has a little bit of blue on it, which I think is cool. This here, I have lemon lolly, which I like. I got the little tiny bunny, but I don't think I'm going to use a bunny on this one. I think I'm sticking to the flowers. Oh, here's more pink. And I have a lemon lolly piece there, and I have peach pie. I got a pink topper, that pink, this. I did cut a couple little tiny flowers out, thinking I might want to fill in a space. So just let's get it all out here and see what we have. I do have some greenery for the basket, should I decide. And I have the little scallop edge for it. So let me get these. I have a little bit, I guess those were 2 pieces I have left over from the kit. And this is the blue. So I have a couple of blue. Oh, I have a few of these sequin. So let's see what we got. So I am trying to see here if we were to add like some, like if I had is that too many, I wonder. I don't know, I kind of like it. I kind of love it, to be honest. I think that would be so cute. And we could still use this as a banner. Now, I think I ended up using one of these pieces down here to provide like a background for the banner and for the basket to sit on. I think that would be good. I'm trying to figure out what I can I think I would like to stamp on here. I think I would like to do that hello friend on here, but I know it's not going to fit entirely, so I'm wondering if I can just do a little bit of masking to get the look I want. So let's see what we got. friend. So let's do hello on there. Okay. And then we'll ink up again. And then we'll mask off the friend. I think this, or the hello. Oh, perfect. And then we'll have hello, friend. Oh, I love it. All right. So we're going to have that here. And we could use an egg if we wanted. I even have some of the green ones, but I don't want the green on there. I might use an egg or two on here for some extra decor. All right, I like it. All right, so let's put our basket together. So I'm going to move these guys out of the way. I don't think we're going to need them. And I think I'm going to use the grass to adhere the bottom ones to the basket, and then I can tuck the top ones in behind. I think that's what we're going to end up doing. All right, so let's go ahead and, where are my little dimensionals? I know they were here. All right, so let's go ahead and put one on here. Like that. And we're going to need to put our stem onto here. So I'm going to use this precision glue tip to try and not be as messy with everything. So I'm going to try and let that glue on. Now I have this one here. Is that a pink? I think I'll use that. Actually, I think I'm going to use the pretty in pink to keep things mixed up. So we're going to add that right here. And then this little guy. Is going to get added to this one. So we'll let that, I can put these other ones together in the meantime, just because I think this is a good plan. There's a lot of little pieces with this when you're doing this. And so you just want to, be really careful as you put all the pieces together. So there's that, and that's the top. All right, then we have this little one here. And like that. Oops. No, it's foil. It's a little harder to get things glued on. Oh, doesn't help when you have glue all over your hands, does it? Oh my goodness. We're almost done. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I have had a lot of fun dreaming about it and creating it. I can't wait for my friend Michelle to see what I ended up making with her boxes. So fun. All right, so that's the top. I got glue on here even. All right, so let's just set that up there. And we are going to turn these over. And we're going to get them kind of close together. And we're going to add our greenery onto here. So or our grass, I should say. So I'm going to add that right there, like so. And then we're going to add these little guys to our basket. Move this grass up. So now all that's in here. And I'm going to trim that off so it's not interfering with that dimensional piece. Okay, so that's what we end up on the back side, which those will be so cute just by themselves, but we have more to add. So we're going to add these in. So we're going to just keep adding to this like that. All right. So now let's figure out our placement. So let's go ahead and put our little triangle down. We'll just keep using this while we have it out. Oh goodness, I have glue all over that too. All right, let's make it in the right direction. Okay, so I'm just gonna add that right here. Okay. I'll get this cleaned off before I have a bigger mess than I want. fingers aren't better, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting so close. So we're going to add our hello friend on here. And we're going to glue that down. And just like the other one, it's going to be kind of coming off that to leave room, because we're going to put our basket down here like so, which means we can add some dimensionals to this. So we can use a dimensional there, and a dimensional there, and one there, and there. That should give it the hold we need. I'm just going to put one there to tuck that down. Just like that. So now we're going to have our basket. I don't know. I love it. I love it just how it is. But we're still going to want to tuck these guys in. So this one's going to go over here. So I think I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to tuck those in once we get it onto the box. Only because I think that's the next best step before we finish this up. All right. So this little guy is going to go right here. Like so. Okay, now we're going to tuck this guy in behind here like that. So I'm going to put some glue on him right there, and we're just going to have him down in there. Well, I guess he's going to be kind of off, hanging off a little bit. Not too bad, but just a tiny bit. It's not like I'm mailing it, right? Well, I could mail it, but it's not like I'm trying to fit it in an envelope. So a little bit easier on that. And then this little guy is going to sneak right in here. Oh my God, I love it so much. So cute. I love it. All right, we are going to add in a couple of these little I don't know. Let's just add one egg. One little egg. And that'll be it. Right here. I think that's what we need. All right, so let me get this trash out of the way. All right. And I'm going to scoot all these things up out here out of the way. And I am going to use just a couple of these on here. So let's go ahead and add a sequin here. And we'll add one here. And then we'll add one right there. That is it. All right, so today what we did was we made these two adorable cards, this adorable card and this really adorable box. I did have the Ghirardellis that go inside of here, and so these are the assorted bunnies, and I like how they fit in here, all lined up, and so I tried to like alternate them so that I had like a little bit of a design in a sense. So let me see what we have here. So I got one more here. Do I have another? Oh yeah, I got another one. And then that one. And so get him turned around. And so there is our box. Aren't these so cute? I am excited to give these to people I love. Now, I did add a little bow up here, which I could do. I do have a little bit more of the pink twine here. We can do that before we wrap up. Might as well just use what I have here and make a big, let's see if I can triple this. Yeah. Yes, we can. We'll just do a little triple bow and we will be done. How fun, everybody. Let me just add this with a glue dot and we'll wrap. All right, everybody, that is it for Celebrate Spring Paper Pumpkin. The new one is on its way already. The new quarterly dies are out. I will show you guys those next time. And thanks, everybody, for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.